Hello students, today we are going to discuss about input and output technologies. A computer is an electronic device. The basic functionality of a computer is to take input from the user, process that input and give the user the desired output. In performing this functionality, apart from the software, different types of softwares that are required, a computer also requires hardware, and for each of these type of specifications, processings, it requires different types of hardware. Now those hardware are classified into different types based upon the functionality of the hardware. If a hardware device is used for giving input to the computer, they are called as input devices, and if we are using any device to read output or to get output from the computer, they are classified as output devices. There are many input devices that we are using in our day-to-day life. Depending upon the field in which the computers are used, input devices can be of different types. Like for example, if we are using an ATM machine, the input device that we use there is a keyboard with numbers and some special symbols, and we also use touch screen as the input device. So depending upon the field in which we use a computer, the input and output device varies. So now we will be discussing about the different types of input and output devices. First, let us discuss about input devices. So input device is one of the hardware device of the computer which will help us to give input to the computer, instructions to the computer so that it can process and give us the desired output. So every peripheral or every device that we attach to a computer has its own associated software installed in the computer, which is called as the device driver software. The input that we give to the computer is going to the device through the device driver software to the processor, and the processor processes the instructions and performs required actions. Now let us discuss about some of the most commonly used input devices. The most commonly used standard input device that we use is the keyboard. Any device if you see will have a keyboard in it, but it might be in different formats depending upon the field in which we are using it. Okay, so the keyboard is an input device which can be connected to a computer, and instructions can be given to the computer through the keys. A keyboard has different types of keys. There are different types of keyboards also depending upon the field in which we use them. Like we have a PC keyboard, a personal computer keyboard which we use in our day-to-day lives. We have advanced technology keyboards which are used for advanced purposes. We have enhanced keyboards, and we have multimedia keyboards which are used in the field of multimedia. Now depending upon the type of keyboard, the number of keys on the keyboard also vary. The general purpose keyboard that we use in our day-to-day lives is called as the QWERTY keyboard, which is the name given by the alphabets in the first row. Now if you look at this picture, we have a keyboard here which is multimedia keyboard. So a multimedia keyboard consists of not only the regular keys that we use, but apart from that it also consists of multiple keys which are basically used to control multimedia instructions, like voice control keys, we have video and audio control keys. So we have all these keys, additional keys. That's why the number of keys from a regular keyboard when compared to on a multimedia keyboard are more. Okay, so now let us discuss about the different types of keys on a keyboard. There are different categories or different types of keys on a keyboard. Like we have certain special purpose keys, we have alphabet keys, we have number keys, we have function keys, we have the space bar. Like this, we have different types of keys in the keyboard. The next input device that is most commonly used apart from keyboard is the mouse. A mouse is also called as a pointing device. When we move the mouse on a flat surface, the pointer on the screen, on the computer screen, also moves. Mouse is basically used along with a graphical user interface, where we can move the mouse around the screen, on the screen, and we can click on some icons, or we can click on certain options, and we can make the selections. So earlier, when a graphical user interface basically helps us, or basically gives us a better way to interact with the computer. So when we are using a graphical interface, it is very important, or it is mandatory, to use a mouse or basically any kind of pointing device in order to make the selections, in order to give the input. Now again we have different types of mouse. Okay, like for example, we have trackball mouse, which was used earlier, and now we don't use it. A trackball mouse basically consists of a ball inside the device, and when we place that particular mouse on a flat surface, the ball inside the mouse rotates, and accordingly the instructions are given to this cursor, and the cursor on the screen also accordingly moves. Similarly, major disadvantage of this trackball mouse was that you always require to place the mouse on a flat screen. So to overcome this disadvantage, they have come up with optical mouses. Okay, optical mouses basically use light technology in order to give instructions. So the pointing device on the screen rotates as a light on the flat surface moves around. Apart from the optical device, optical device again has several variations, like you have wireless mouses, you have wired mouses. Wireless mouses use Bluetooth technology, or we can also use a special device that we connect in the USB port of the computer, so that we can connect that particular wireless mouse to the computer and use it. The next input device, apart from this mouse and keyboard, that we are going to discuss is a stylus. Stylus is nothing but a pen. It's a kind of a pen shaped device, which is basically used for giving instructions or giving input. Now this pen directly helps us. We can hold this pen in our hand and directly point to a particular icon or to a particular location on the screen, and wherever the pen head touches that particular screen, the input is recorded from there. So this pen or stylus comes again in using light or optical technology, where light from the pen goes and touches the screen and the input is recorded. The next type of input device is your joystick. Joystick is the input device which we see most commonly being used in PlayStations, that is when we are playing games on computers. So this is an input device which will have a socket, and inside a socket you will have a gear kind of a stick attached, which you move in different directions, and accordingly in whichever direction you move the gear, the input on the screen or the object on the screen moves in those different directions. The next input device that we use is a microphone. That we most frequently use or most commonly used is microphone. Microphone is again a input device which takes analog data. So basically it records the voice and it gives that as an input to the computer. Now, a microphone basically takes an analog sound wave, analog signal, converts that analog signal into digital signals and gives that as an instruction to the computer. Now, these voice microphones are very frequently used nowadays. Like we use microphones in our mobile phones for speaking. We use microphones in devices like Alexa. We use microphones in our laptops, where we can make a video call and audio call and talk to somebody. So microphones are used for that purpose. The next kind of input device is a digital camera. So digital camera is basically a device which captures the real world environment and stores that digitally, electronically in your computer. So it captures the data and it gives that particular data stores that data in the form of digital signals in your computer. There are a lot of digital cameras feature an LCD or LED screen to preview and review your images and change and make a lot of menu settings. There are many applications of digital cameras. We use it for professional photography, amateur photography, speed cameras, which will help us to detect or which will help us to monitor the speed of vehicles, and we also use these digital cameras for live and offline video recording. Next type of input device is a scanner. A scanner performs the task of turning a document, a tangible document, into a digital file. Scanner basically scans the data and it converts that data into a digital form and gives that as an input to the computer. There are two types of scanners that we use. One is a flat bed scanner and the other is a handheld scanner. A flat bed scanner it comes in a fixed position. We place the scanner in a fixed position and we move the particular product or a paper or on the scanner in order that to be scanned. Whereas a handheld scanner, as the name suggests, is a scanner which we can hold in our hand and we can move it around the screen, or we can move it around a paper or a device and we can scan it. We can use this scanner for converting your hard copy documents into a soft copy or a digital form and store them. We can use these scanners are used in different areas, like we use them in shopping malls where billing is happening using the handheld scanners or flatbed scanners. They are used in supermarkets, they are used in reading passports, they are used in security screening, they are used in creating computer models, they are used in biometric devices. So scanners are used in different fields in different ways. Next kind of input device that we again most frequently use in our day-to-day life is a touch screen. Touch screen is a computer display, a special type of a screen which saves the input when a human hand or when human finger or a pen touches the screen. So this screen is basically a special type of a screen, not like your regular monitor screen that we use, but it is a special type of a screen where you have two thin films or two thin screens, and wherever the two thin screens come into contact, when we touch it, the input is recorded at that point. There are three main types of touch screens that we have. One is your capacitative touch screen, resistive touch screens and infrared touch screen. So basically these three types of touch screens use different methods of storing the input or data. Next, one more type of a scanner that we most frequently use is a barcode reader. Barcode reader is a machine readable code represented by an image consisting of black and white lines. Barcode reader is a special type of a scanner which is specially designed only to read barcodes. Barcodes are nothing but they are numbers from 0 to 9, and there is a pattern of lines or a series of lines which represent these numbers. Generally these barcodes are used where these barcodes are used, these are represented or these are replaced by the numbers or the product IDs or numbers that we use for related to products, and it is easy for us to scan these barcodes rather than manually entering those numbers into the machine. So the advantages of these barcodes is tracking or identifying items in the warehouse becomes very easy because we are accessing them through the barcode reader. Retail checkouts, that is online, whenever we are doing shopping or whenever we go to the supermarket, it is very easy for us for the sales representative to scan barcodes and give the input. And airports and tracking luggages, everything is made easy with the help of these barcode readers. The next kind of input device is your QR code reader. QR code reader is a variation of barcode reader. Basically barcode is single dimensional and QR code is two-dimensional data. The same barcodes are represented two-dimensionally, and that is called as a QR code. QR stands for quick response code. So the data that the device that we use to scan these QR data is called as your QR code reader. Every device that is your mobile phone or many devices come with inbuilt QR code scanners, which will help us to scan these QR codes, and this QR code data is generally an address, URL address, a contact, or the payment that we do in retail stores. Next is your graphic tablet. So this is also called as a drawing tablet, okay, a pen tablet, and is an input device that enables an artist to draw or sketch digitally using a pen or a stylus. This helps artists to draw easily on the screen. Next is a web camera. Web camera is a input device which basically helps which basically saves the real time images and video to a computer or streams them through a computer network. So basically web cameras are used whenever we want to make any video call, or whenever we want to speak to somebody or record something. Web cameras are used. Many of our laptops nowadays come with inbuilt web cameras which help us to record and stream. Next is a touchpad. Touchpad is an alternative to mouse that is used on a laptop. So laptops generally come, because laptops are compact in size, they generally do not have a mouse attached, but they come with a touchpad. Whenever we rotate our finger on a touchpad, accordingly the cursor on the screen rotates and we can give the input through the touchpad. The next one is your interactive whiteboard. Interactive whiteboard is also known as a smart board, a white screen where we can touch with the help of a finger or a pen, and we can use it just like a touch screen device. It is an extended, or it is an alternative to touch screen device. And then next type of input device that we have is your OMR, optical mark reader, or optical mark recognition. So this OMR technology, this OMR device basically follows a light technology. This OMR device is generally used to scan the OMR sheets, that is the answers that we give on the OMR sheets. Next is the OCR, optical character recognition, is used to recognize text in scanned documents. And we have MICR, magnetic ink character recognition. This is a special type of a device designed to read checks in banks, because banks checks are basically written in special type of ink, and to read those input we require a special type of a device, and that is your magnetic ink character recognition. Next category, that is the output devices. Output devices are basically devices or peripheral devices which are used to give output to the user. So after input is given, the processing happens in the CPU and it gives us the output in whichever format we require. There are different types of output devices. The first one and the most basic one is your monitor. Monitor is a piece of hardware which is similar to a computer, and this monitor helps us to get the output, but the difference is that monitor has more higher resolution when compared to a TV screen. Next type of output device is a printer. So printer is also called as a hard copy output device, which helps us to get hard copy output, that is an output on a paper. There are different types of printers. We have printers classified into majorly into two categories. One is your impact printers and the other is non-impact printers. Impact printers are those printers which touch the paper and print. That is, the print head touches the paper and prints. That's why we also see that these printers make a lot of noise when they are printing. This impact printers are old printers which were introduced earlier, and they are little slow when compared to non-impact printers. Non-impact printers on the other hand do not touch the paper, but they spray ink onto the paper and do the printing. Now under impact printer we have character printer and line printer. Character printer type of printers basically print one character at a time, and line printers basically print one line at a time. And under character printer we have types of printers like daisy wheel printer, dot matrix printer. You can see a dot matrix printer here. A dot matrix printer basically consists of a print head which consists of different types of characters, and the print head touches the paper and does the printing. So that's the reason why the print quality of these kind of printers, non-impact printers, is not very clear when compared to non-impactive printers, but these impact printers are less expensive when compared to non-impact printers. We see these kind of printers where bulk printing is done, like for example for generating bills in hospitals or generating bills in medical shops. We use these kind of impact printers, whereas non-impact printers are faster, they give variety of colors for printing, and we require, and it also takes more, they are also more expensive when compared to impact printers. Next type of output device is a plotter. A plotter is also similar to a printer, but instead of a toner, a plotter uses a pencil, a pen or a marker as a writing tool. So we basically, plotters are used for printing larger documents and huge documents with in larger size when compared to a printer. One more common type of output device that we use is headphones. Headphones are nothing but are a pair of small speakers which we can plug into our ears, and they are connected either using a Bluetooth technology to your device, or we can connect them through a wire cable. Next type of output device is a projector. Projector basically is an output device which is an alternative which can act as an alternative for your monitor. When there are number of people who are accessing that particular data, you want to project the data to more number of people, you can use projector as a output device because it can be viewed by a larger group of people. There are different types of projectors: portable projectors, large venue projectors, and home cinema projectors. Next type of output device is a speaker. A speaker is a hardware device which again converts your digital data into analog signals, that is the data that we give through audio. It can convert that into analog signals and give out that as an output. We require a sound card installed in our computer for using these speakers. We have types of speakers like wireless speakers, and we also have surround sound speakers. Next, we are going to discuss about display technologies. What are the underlying technologies in these kind of display devices that we use, like television screens, monitors, projectors, and smartphones? There are three types of technologies that are there. One is CRT technology, liquid crystal display, LCD technology, and LED technology. Any of the output devices which we used for displaying uses any of these technologies. Let us discuss about CRT technology. In CRT technology, basically this is the older version of the computers use these CRT monitors, CRT technology, where the size of these monitors were huge because they use the technology of cathode ray tube. There is a cathode ray tube inside the monitor, and this cathode ray tube emits electrons onto the screen, and that is how the output is displayed to the user. Next is LCD technology. The cathode ray tube now is replaced by liquid crystal display. So this liquid crystal display basically consists of two polarized glasses, and between those two polarized glasses there is a liquid crystal material which is between them, and the light is emitted onto those onto the liquid crystal, and the liquid crystal, accordingly the molecules are aligned and the output is generated. The last type of technology is your LED technology. These LED technologies make our monitors even more thinner, even more flat, and these are, instead of using a cold cathode fluorescent light in your liquid LCD monitors, we use light emitting diodes, and these monitors, LED monitors, consume less power when compared to LCD or cathode ray tube monitors. Finally, I want to conclude that input and output devices have very important role within computer systems. They provide the systems with the needed data which will help them to process and then give the desired output depending upon the requirement of the user. Input and output devices work along with memory and processing unit, and all of them operate together and allow the system to function as intended.